Oh, okay. It's amateur hour, guys, so hang in there. It's been a while since I've done this, so I guess first things first. Hi. It's Luke from the Somewhere Tribe. I would normally have Katie with me. I think, Tiago, have you been live for a short time? No. Oh, you haven't gone live yet. Okay. I'd normally have Amy Lee with me for this kind of stuff. To be honest, maybe I'm missing her a little bit, but she's got some stuff on this afternoon. Grabbing at me is not a thing. Say hi. Hi. Yeah, we've got Tiago over there. He's doing Instagram. So hi, guys. How are you doing? Basically, I just wanted to sort of take some time to have a little bit of a chat with you guys and hopefully, I don't know, hopefully have you guys give me some feedback or, I don't know, maybe even some kudos if you think I'm doing something really, really good. The reality is that we have been off YouTube for quite a while. We've done a few Instagram stories and a few things like that. The reality is that it's due to just having our head down and trying to get this done. It's a bigger task than we realized we were going to take on. And I think Tiago needs to get closer to me, but so it's a bigger task than I realized. I don't know about girls, but I basically, hey, didn't realize how much it was going to take out of me to get this done. And it's just due to the fact that every single step of the way, it's a new design process, right? So you're not just putting together a straight wall or, you know, installing plumbing on something that doesn't move or the electrical system, for instance. I had no experience with the electricals. I put a lot of work into understanding it, and even then when I went and spoke to the electrician about a week ago, I had a couple of things that I had to address, which honestly I haven't addressed yet, but I'll work on that over the next couple of weeks. Point being that every single time we've turned around, it's been a new thought. Like, so we've had to design everything, you know what I mean? We've had to describe things like, so cheers. I'll give you so Billy Boy, I'll give you some insides and what am I trying to say? Sorry. I'll give you some hot tips on some of the things I'm doing and some of the things that I have done, and hopefully you have the same opinion. What was I saying? So we have had to learn everything and we've had to design everything. I've said that like 4 times, every single step of the way, and it's just meant that it's such a long-winded process, something we didn't even understand. And we've sat on YouTube looking at Lewis the Van and Max and Lee's channel. I mean, look, Max's channel, sorry, you know, that's a situation I don't really want to go into, but my thoughts are with Max and Lee's friends and family. Moving on. And yet still I was so underprepared for what we're doing, okay? I'm really hoping we have some of you guys jump on and do a few bits of feedback, you know, give me a heads up, tell me some things that you would have done. And hopefully it's a learning process for me as much as it is for you guys. But anyway, I'm going to take you down the side first because my massive, like, you know, love of the van really starts in the first 2 rows. So the front 2 rows of this 6-seater Sprinter. Yeah. So it's something that if I keep turning my back to you guys, I'm terribly sorry, but it's hard to keep both of these on. But basically, we bought ourselves. Well, look, it was registered as a 5-seater. It had a 3-seater bench seat, one that wasn't quite as attractive as this one. And we went and turned it into a 6-seater. So you'll see here behind me, I don't know if you can see on Instagram, but here behind me, we've actually reinstalled or installed the 2-seater seat in the front. And then you've got the driver's seat over there. So that makes the front row 3 seats. Sorry, Chiago. Have a quick look there. But this here is probably my favorite part. I put a lot of thought, a lot of energy. Amy Lee spent a lot of hours trying to source something, but this one here came from Victoria. Capital Special Vehicles, I believe they call themselves. And what they do is they buy Volkswagen T3s and transporters and vans along those lines, and then they turn them into vehicles for people who have wheelchairs. So they have to take these out, and they have absolutely no use for them because they install, lifts at the back. It was a bit of a score. It was, I think, 1,200 Australian dollars shipped to my door. So I was very, very happy with that. It's an amazing seat, never been used. We took it to A to Z Imports in Currumbin, and they installed it for us. So look, I'm going to go with them doing the best job they possibly could, because it wasn't a simple process. But you can see down the bottom here, the rail system there. The 6 seats have built-in seat belts. That was a must. And on the back here, because Sophie and Millie are, when Tiago gets around there, Sophie and Millie are still in boosters, so we needed the anchor points. That's a big reason why we got A to Z to do the work, is because legally here in Australia we have to have an engineer's certificate for amendments to seating. So that, and look, we want our girls to be safe and secure, and we know that they've installed it correctly. I'd recommend you guys talk to Robbie there if you need some work done or anything along those lines in the way of compliance and certification for seating. I mean, he got the job done, so I was pretty happy with that. But the thing about this seat that really makes me excited, and I'm probably going to have a bit of trouble for the second. Can you hold that one for a sec, Tiago? I know you don't have enough hands. I'll hold yours. You hold mine. I'll sit yours down. Is that all right? Yeah. Okay. I'll show you guys, just quickly, the versatility of this seat, which is fantastic. And if you own a Volkswagen T3, you probably already understand. Under here is a lever, and it will bring the back of the seat forward. It'll put the back of the seat back. But something that we really found very valuable, because there's 6 of us, right? So I'm sure you guys have worked that out. There's 6 of us doing the whole road trip thing together. This will fold back, and this will pull out with a bit of a jiggle. There we go. A thin piece of foam on top of that, and it's a great bed. Okay, it's probably not for me, being that I'm 6 foot tall, but Millie and Sophie will love that. Nice thin piece of layered bed. Okay, so I'll put this back for a second, because it also folds down right down to the front, and because of the rails, we have the ability to slide it all the way to the back or all the way to the front, which means that when we've pulled up somewhere and we're actually doing the camping thing, we'll pull it all the way to the front, and then you'll have a thoroughfare into the kitchen. So that one there is definitely what I would say is the best part of the van that I've come up with so far, because I'm feeling very vulnerable about some of the other stuff that I'm doing. So let's go back around the back and we'll have a little look at a couple of the other things. I mean, you guys can see there, the van itself is the long wheelbase 319, or is it a 316? I'm forgetting now. How about that? There we go, 316. So it's got the capacity for the 6 of us. Fingers crossed when we're finished building it out, it's still actually underweight, but we'll deal with that when we get there. But let's have a quick chat about how this thing's going to be decked out. And Billy Boy, as you mentioned before, it's looking very promising. So we can, I hope you guys can, really see how things are going to come together now. So I'll start from the back here. Okay, you can see our windows. These are there just to protect the tint. We actually had the tint replaced on 7, I think. 7 of the windows. 6 of the windows. So 6 of the windows we replaced the tint on, and that was just because I knew one of them at the very least was going to be like this. So behind there is a tinted window, and we wanted it as perfectly as possible from the outside. But then, you know, the rest of them are like this. So half the window is going to be covered in, whilst we're going to have the view going out. So that's the view from one of the beds. I think for me, what this actually sort of shows is that line that we've got going. So once this is built out, we've got an overhead here, we've got a kitchen counter there. You're really going to have a nice flow of lines all the way through there, and I'm pretty excited about it. I'll show you our overhead. I apologize for bad camera work. I will show you our overhead and a few things outside in a short time. But basically, in the back here is going to be our boot. It's only going to be a small, sorry, garage. And what we're going to have is here, here at this height, just above our electricals there, is going to be a double size bed. And that's going to be the main bed for the two little girls. Okay. And then up above that, I think it's about 50 centimeters of space for them. So just here on the same line as those windows is going to be the adult bed. So we're going to build that one across here. It's going to be, I think it measures to just under 1.4 meters long. So it's a short bed, but we're going to have some drawer slides and a thing that pulls out. So you just got to use your imagination. We'll have the drawer slides here. We'll pull the drawer slides out. They'll sit above the kitchen bench on this side and they'll rest on top of our, oh no, sorry, I was going to say on top of our fridge, but it will meet the side of our fridge on this side. Okay, so then it will come out to, I think it's 1.7 meters. No, it must be more than that. It must be like 1.85 or something. So it's either 6 foot or just under 6 foot. So I can actually sleep long ways here. And with the width being 1.7, it's obviously a nice big bed for us. And then the girls, they're going to have plenty of space down the bottom. Okay. In the garage, as I said, well, not as I said, but as you can see, is our electricals. So you've got a Renogy 2000 watt inverter charger attached to a Renogy, what do they call this one? Sorry, I know it's DC to DC, but it's a charge controller essentially. So it really does a little bit of everything. When we're on solar and not going anywhere, it will trickle charge our car battery. When we're using the power, it's going to obviously charge the batteries. When we're driving, it will access the power from the alternator in the van and charge the batteries again. So it's a really, really great, like, look, I would recommend this one for everyone. It just seems to do everything. And I feel like we've we've been able to avoid an additional component, being that it's the charge controller as well as the DC to DC charger. As I said, 2000 watt Renogy inverter, and then we've got the two batteries. So look, in a perfect world, I would probably have 4. Unfortunately, budget constraints leave us with just the 2, and they are AGM. So down the track, we will be able to put some lithium batteries in. That would be fantastic, and hopefully additional lithium batteries, allowing us to be off, off grid for a period of time. At this rate, we probably won't be off grid for very long, being that power will run out. But the theory would be for us that we'd be off grid for the night, and then we'd jump up in the morning and we'd go for a drive somewhere and do something, and then that would reload our batteries, and then we would come home and we'd have the evening again. So we're not too stressed about power. Hold that thought, because there might be a chance, a massive chance, that we're, complaining about it down the path. Okay, so back to this. The power, that will be storage. We're going to have the girls' bed fold up, just like a lever, just to allow additional access in the back. It won't necessarily do anything as far as additional storage or anything. It will just mean that when I want to access that power bank, it's a lot easier, because, with the bed sitting just above those batteries, it's going to be difficult to do anything. But if we fold it up, it'll obviously make it a little bit better, a little bit easier. Sorry if I'm talking fast. I'll try to slow it down a little bit. From there, we have just a small little, just down here, it will be a small cabinet, okay, just for storage. And we're talking about a toilet, so we'll see how it goes. But personally, I love the Nature's Head toilet. We've had a bit of a discussion about porta potty. We'll see what we sort of do with that. But to be honest, it's just going to be a storage location. I don't know. That is. Okay, let's try again. Okay, sorry guys. I don't know when that cut out. This here is storage. This will be our fridge. Underneath the fridge will be a drawer. This here is going to be a ventilation vent for our fridge. Okay, so our fridge is a Gecko. It's not something I'm too familiar with, and it's not the biggest brand on the market, but when we got it, we were so amazed that it is so light. It's literally less than 30 kilos just on its own. And 120 liters, I believe. It's what did we measure it at? I think it came in at
that high.
yeah. So it's here down to I think the drawer is there. So it's approximately 50 centimeters tall. Fridge freezer. Okay, so that's something we're not missing out on. We're all gonna eat. So trust me, we're all gonna eat because our kitchen is like the bee's knees. That is the piece de resistance of our thing. So that's your fridge. Corner cabinet here, just something to fill space and allow us to leave our shoes on. But over this side, I mean, you can see it there now. It's kind of sticking out to me. I mean, it's the thing that draws my attention right at the moment. So this is our kicker, and on top of that, we're going to have a 900mm bench, kitchen bench that will come to the window, and we're going to actually make the bench go out to the window so that we can just to carry it on, allow a little bit more space, carry it on. We'll have a little lip at the back to avoid any rubbish falling down there, or hey Amy Lee. And yeah, so that's going to be a, I think it's called Hevia is the wood type. Where it's just something we're grabbing from Bunnings, and it's a lighter color, very similar to the pine, that will be across the top here at 900mm, and it'll extend out into the window just a little bit. As you can see down the front here, the window sills are a little bit different to that, so the Hevia is gonna go out over there. But here in the front, we've got this here is actually just pine. It's yet to be painted. It's obviously been nailed in, and this is our putty, our wood filler, to take away the little dints, just like here. This has come off, unfortunately, so we'll have to address that. But basically, just to avoid any damage from the wood, which Tiago can probably show you guys down there, we've just installed rubber. It's adhesive, self-adhesive rubber on one side, and then on the other, it is just a tube style rubber. So it just means that if the van moves around enough for that wood to touch our window, it's not going to do any damage. It's just going to squish against that rubber and save us any headaches down the way. But I mean, just to also shed some light on it, just roughly, so we've got one here, one here, one here. To allow that to be nice and secure, we've actually put little pieces of support timber on the inside and glued and nailed that. So if you put any pressure on these, it's not going to break. So I'm a little bit proud of that. I think that's a great little idea that we came up with in the process. We actually have a water heater, a water pump, and a 240 volt outlet. So for all you guys who aren't from Oz, I think it's 110 most of the time, 110 volts for everyone who's maybe in the UK and that sort of thing. For us, it's 240 volts. So that's the system we're running through here, is 240 volts. And as I said, there's going to be an outlet there that's going to run our laptops and a few devices like that. We're going to have USBs all over the place. So one there, and one up here. That will be, sorry, it's up here. You guys can't really see it at the moment. That'll obviously charge most of our devices, so our phones and several of our cameras and a few different things like that. Look, that's really a lot of what's going on in here. Because it looks amazing. It's a little bit dirty. It is hybrid flooring. We got it from National Tiles. It is waterproof and obviously easy to install. So you can see that we've installed it around the battery box there and around the wheel well here. It's so easy to work with. It's been great. Like, we've worked with a few different items here. You know, your 3mm ply, which is super easy, far too easy to cut. We've got some 18mm pine beams here that are all of our framing. So that's you'll find that all throughout all of the walls. Still not that hard to work with, but the whole point that I'm sort of getting at is almost everything was difficult to cut, difficult to manage, but this stuff was just like super simple. I literally did most of the cuts on my own in one afternoon. So that's a great product to deal with. And as I said, it's waterproof. It comes with, underneath is a like a rubber that avoids it shifting around. So I think it's referred to as a floating floor. it doesn't actually get glued down or anything like that. And look, I posted the other day on Instagram about the fact that we got told it wasn't what people used in vans. We've seen a few people online use it. I think it's going to work perfectly. Honestly, I think it's going to be a fantastic product. It's going to add to the sound deadener, and it just looks great. So let's see how it goes, eh? One day in the near future, we're going to show you guys this van. It's going to be completely finished, and you're going to be amazed by the floor. I'm sure the two things that'll draw your attention, the rooftop. I think Chiago's too far away. Two things that will draw your attention when we're done is going to be our roof, which I'm not really going to run through with you guys right now, but it's going to be pretty cool, and the flooring. The other thing I meant to tell you guys that I was really keen to tell you guys is actually about these vent fans. Like, we had a little bit of anxiety about these ones because we've got two vent fans up there. Can you see? You got the one here, and then down the back you've got the other one. Sorry, that's the front of the van. The idea is that we would have one on reverse and it would help us cycle some of that air out. But the reason it was such a big deal for us is because there were no holes in the roof when we started. So we had to cut these holes and seal them with a Sikaflex product. I couldn't actually tell you what it is. Maybe it's Sikaflex 204. It was actually recommended for us for the purpose of vibrations and that sort of stuff. So this process has been a big learning curve. Yeah, so the different glues and sealants and that sort of stuff that we've used have I don't know, we've learnt about them as we've gone, and this one was, I believe it's Sikaflex 204. So I'm not going to have the opportunity to show you guys right now, but it's over there, and I might post about it a little bit later so you guys understand, realize which one it is. But this is some of the stuff I wanted to share with you guys. Chiago will probably be proud of the one that I'm going to start with, but this here is going to be our fresh water tank. Okay, you guys can see that one. So that's our fresh water tank. That came from RV Tanks, I believe they are. They're in Bow Desert. They make tanks for almost everything. Okay, if you've got a truck, if you've got a trailer, if you've got a van like us, they have tanks that are designed to fit in all of them. And the guys there hooked us up with the mounting brackets. So all we've got to do is put a couple of holes in there, and then it fits under the van. And there we go. We've got what was it, 90 liters? 90 liters of fresh water. They do one that sits on the other side under the step, which is, I don't know why that one's having so much trouble. It's really upsetting. There we go. 140 liters of fresh water. And then we will be looking at the one that sits underneath the back. So just beyond the spare tire on the Sprinter is a bit of space. And I know that Atlas Tanks and RV Tanks Australia and a few, I think there's at least one other group make them specially to fit there, and it should hold 120 liters, I believe. 110. So 110 liters. Obviously Chiago's done all the water stuff. So once we would install all three, we would be looking at a combination of 110 and 120 liters. So whether one's grey, whether, you know, we look at doing 210 liters of fresh, and then we'll have a 50 litre grey water tank. Either way, we want to get the three tanks eventually. We're just with one at the moment. The guys at RV Tanks Australia too, just while I think about it, they have all of these fittings. So if you contact them, they'll tell you exactly what you need, and they'll discuss exactly where you want to put it, and they'll supply the brackets, and then they can ship them all to you as well. They just need an address, and then they'll explain how much it's going to cost to get to you guys. Okay. There's not a lot more I can say about that. Like, I hope that is useful for some of you guys. I know there's plenty of you guys overseas who aren't going to have the ability to access this company, but these guys were great. They were so supportive, and it was fantastic to have found them. Bow Desert is approximately an hour and 50 minutes away from us, so it wasn't too far for us to go and pick that up one day. So we didn't get it shipped, we went and collected it. We took the van with us, which was great. It meant that he could look at where it was going to sit, and he was very happy with the brackets and how they fitted. Okay, so from there, this one here behind me, it's what I would refer to as an unfinished project. you can see, I hope you can see what it is, okay? But basically, this is the curve of the van here, and this would be the roof. Sorry, this is the curve of the van here, and this would be the roof. So what I'm trying to explain is that it is actually the overhead cabinet. So it would sit up in the top corner up there. Sorry guys, Thiago will turn around in a second. It will sit up in the top corner up there. Let's see if I can point into this image as well. And it will run from about that power cord there, that electrical wire up here, down to the front. So it's going to take up that entire space. It's going to be separated into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 bays of approximately 50 centimeters each. Okay? Sorry, people are changing hands here. They're distracting me. They want me to, I don't know. It's been a shambles anyway, so let's go. Let's keep going. Anyway, the girls built this. So this was Katie and Amy Lee. They put this together. It took them a couple of days, but I think it looks fantastic. You've really got to use your imagination. I think you've got to think, you know, how it's going to sit in there and. Has no one been on Instagram at all?
No, Thiago didn't press.
Oh, guys, you missed out on everything. I'm going to continue running through it for you guys. So we'll do what YouTube haven't seen.
Okay, there you go.
It's on, is it?
Say hi to everyone.
Hey, guys. So I'm going to keep going with the YouTube one, and I'm going to finish with you guys alone. So you guys will get an exclusive bit of information, but it's just what I've shared with YouTube already. And look, if any of you guys are on there, let's have a look. There we go. If any of you guys are on there, there we go. Sober Sunsets. How you guys going? And you have anything to say, any advice, any thoughts, or whatever else, just, you know, shout out. Let us know. I want to hear what you guys think. If you love it, then thank you very much. If you have some advice for me, that would be fantastic. As I said before, so you guys weren't listening to this exactly because Thiago hadn't pressed the button. But this is our overhead cabinet. So this is the back side. This has been scribed up against the wall. It will be placed up in, so we'll come back over here again, Thiago. Up in the corner there. Okay, it'll run all the way to the front, and you can right there. I don't know, can you make it out? Yeah, you can. See the piece of wood there? That is essentially our overhead storage. We're gonna have some overhead storage there. We're gonna have overhead storage here. We've got the 2 cabinets on each side here. We're gonna have 3 big drawers in that part. Sorry if I'm turning my back to you guys. So there's gonna be tons of storage. So the things that we've come to the conclusion is that we wanted a kitchen, we wanted storage, and we wanted power. So, sorry, and water, obviously. So we're going to be able to be off grid for some time, but it's not going to be extended periods of time. We'll just see how it goes. And if we have to upgrade a few of the tanks and we have to upgrade some of the power system to make it work, then we'll do that as we go. So I've gone through the water system. I'll come back to you guys with the water system. That's the overhead. I wanted to rave about it. It has been fantastic. So, easy to cut, easy to work with, easy to install. Obviously, everything that everyone says about it is that it is fire retardant, it is waterproof. Sorry, it's not waterproof, that's a fib. The point is that it kind of ticks everyone's box, right? The thing that I have learnt is you don't need additional insulation. So a lot of people go and do exactly what we did. They put in the foam, the closed cell foam, and then they install the wool on top. It's not necessary. So since the day that Thiago has installed that wool, and we've thrown up a couple of those boards, to drive this van around has been an absolute dream. The experience is just great. It is so peaceful and quiet. It's like a little bubble. You don't hear the cars around you. It's fantastic. I am obviously in love with the fact that it's quiet, right? It feels pretty plush. Point is, you don't really need the closed cell foam. On the floor, it's probably a must. As you can see, we installed it on top of the wheel wells. You couldn't really do the earth wool in the floor. Excuse me. But yeah, so the closed cell foam on the floor, and then we've got earth wool in the walls, okay? One thing I would love, if you guys have any advice for me, is if you have any advice for me is about these the seams in here. So you can see we've got a piece of ply here, and we've got some filler. We've got some filler here, and that's another piece of ply. So we've had trouble filling in these cracks without having them crack, right? So as you drive around, the vibrations, obviously, it was something that I expected. Excuse me, I was disappointed because I wanted to just have a win. But they crack with the vibrations of the vehicle. What has everyone done? What has been everyone's solution for those cracks? How are they covering the seams? Okay, you know, like it works perfectly for the nail holes. We're going to sand that back and paint over the top of them. But for the biggest seams in the wood, so you can see here we haven't done anything yet. But if you come along here, we've done this one, and this one's held up because it's a nice little seam. But sometimes, like these two here, you end up with a slightly bigger seam, and the concern is with the vibrations, it actually breaks, it cracks. So I don't know who's got a tip for me. Does anyone have a hot tip? So that was one question I wanted to sort of throw out there. That's something we've been challenged by. The other we have done a lot of is pocket holes. That's right. I was going to talk to you guys about the pocket hole tools. Sorry, guys. I've seen online, I think it was Endless Adventure. They're building an RV. They've done a few things recently that are really, really cool. But they were the ones that first brought the pocket holes to my attention. And I've gone down to Bunnings and bought myself an individual pocket hole drilling tool. And it cost next to nothing. Look, I honestly think it was about $9. But it has been a godsend. So come in again for a second, Chiago. Sorry to keep doing this to you, but I do want to show you how we've done this. And it creates the pocket holes like these ones. And then you drill straight down into here. So you can see here. See that? There we go. Look at that. If you have a look up here for a second, Chiago, you can see that we've gone with self-tapping metal screws straight into the body of the van. Okay, he's a bit close. Straight into the body of the van, and then we've pocket holed into the framing. So this is going to support the window. But every joint that we've done is in the same situation. We've been very, very happy with pocket screws, and I believe it's going to be a big part of our kitchen bench as it comes together. Amy Lee has been working on that this afternoon. But that's one thing that we did that I'd like to sort of throw out there and sort of say that that's the hot tip for everyone. Pocket screws, pocket screws, pocket screws. It allows you to do joins at a right angle and not have the exposed screw, you know, hanging out or coming from the wrong direction. Look, I'd love to walk you guys through the electricals completely. As you can see, it hasn't quite come together. We do have the solar stuff that I've already run through with you, but up here is the 240 and the switchboard style stuff. So that there is coming out. What else have we done, Chiago? Yeah, it is. Yeah, got to stand outside because of the time. Winter is the best time in Australia. Just saying. And the biggest concern with winter in Australia is the time that the sun goes down. So just behind us over here, there's a hill. There you go. There's a hill over here. Once the sun gets behind that, it goes dark really quickly. So anyway, what have we got? We've got earth wool water tanks, overhead cabinets, ply for the walls. We're going to paint them all a color called almond milk. Me and Katie have a good old battle about this one. It's white. Did you know there are so many shades of white? It's impossible. So almond milk is our color. It looks good. You can see it in a part of the electrical system, but that's the color of the walls. I don't know if there's much else to sort of go through, guys. I kind of feel like I didn't share as much as I thought I was going to share. What do you reckon, Thiago? Is there anything you think I should have said? No? No.
Electrical, water, walls, seat.
Yeah. Look, the big reason for me to run through this with all of you guys is that we have started... Yeah, I'll talk about those, actually. We have started putting this together, taping it, and then posting. Show them the roof color. I was keeping that a secret, Amy Lee. You're an insider. Give me a second. I have to ask all of you to not judge the mess you're about to see, okay? I am not a tidy tradie, so just hang on there a second. Here we go. Amy Lee called me out, so I'm gonna have to share it. This here is the color of our roof, okay? So that is going to be painted on the 3mm ply you saw inside. And then from there, what is actually going to happen is that we're going to install pine, pieces of pine beams. I don't know how to describe that to you guys, along it. So this will honestly just be a highlight behind a softer brown. They will be stained as well, the pine beams. But, you know, wait and see, because we're pretty excited about it. I think it's going to turn out fantastically. The girls have this bright idea of accent colors, and to be honest, I just step aside and let them do it. Like, I was the, I can't say mastermind, but I was the one that sort of, you know, discovered scribing and a few things like that. But the girls are the ones that are doing the designing. If you know much about us, Katie has been designing fabrics and prints for quite a while, so she has a little knack for that kind of thing, and that's on her. Dun, 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 dun. I honestly think that's about it. I really do. I'm so happy you guys joined us. If you're on Insta, don't be in a hurry to run away, because I'll actually run you through a couple of things that you guys missed out on. But as far as YouTube's concerned, I'm gonna say good night. And sorry, I'm not gonna say good night. Let's hold that thought. Thiago just reminded me. So above us here, can you see that? We've gone and installed reverse cameras. So once we sort of blocked out all of these windows, reversing was dangerous, like crazy dangerous. I could see down my sides. I just couldn't see out the back. And the reality of the situation is you can see down the sides, but the blind spot just seems to get bigger and bigger the further the further back you get from the van, if that makes sense. So I've gone and installed those. I'm a little bit stoked with the install, because what I've gone and done is made it that the there's a 7-inch display that hangs on our rear mirror at the front. It only turns on when the vehicle's running. So, I mean, we don't need it otherwise, but it just doesn't draw on the car's battery when we're not driving. So it's perfect. And we've got the two angles. One goes straight down. So this is something we learned from Let's Go Campers. We rented a camper September 2020. We went around New South Wales. Thanks, Let's Go Campers. Sorry, Let's Go Motorhomes, I should say. That was a great experience, but we learnt that with reversing, they had a camera that pointed straight down and then a camera that pointed out. So what it meant that you could see what you were reversing towards, and you could see how close you were to it. So it was a perfect setup. So we went with that for this. And I think it's a brilliant, look, I'm very happy with it. If you look up right now, you'll see wires are exposed, which is a little bit of a disappointment. It was just the way that I installed it. Up the top there is a round grommet style hole that the Mercedes-Benz have left there for reverse cameras and different things like that. And what I've gone and done is taken out the grommet, put the wires through, but in hindsight, I probably should have gone straight down from the camera so there was less wire hanging out. But, you know, live and learn. It does the job. It looks perfectly fine, being that they're white cameras. It's just something that, you know, affected me a little bit, I guess, or just, you know, I wish I could have changed. Something happened there. I had a thought and then it's gone. Never mind, guys. Well, look, I am officially going to say good night to YouTube. I'm going to run Instagram through a few things from now. Thank you very much to everybody who joined us. And you know what? If you guys like this, click the like button. Obviously, subscribe to see some more content, because I'm gonna keep sharing this with you guys. I think I'm gonna try to do a few more lives. I actually enjoy doing this. I feel like we're sort of doing it with you guys rather than just sharing our life. But once we're officially on the road, without a doubt, we're going to be back into the vlogging style thing. So we're going to share with you experiences, destinations, and just you know, us, right? We like to share us. So hang in there and yeah, keep an eye out. Subscribe and let us know what you think. You know, if you want us to go anywhere in Oz, because we're obviously not leaving the country, if you want us to go anywhere in Oz, you tell us what it is, because we're so excited to get almost everywhere. You know, Tasmania is high on our list, and Alice Springs is high on our list. So we're going to be working on those two locations, and Western Australia, South Australia, Great Ocean Road. Look, we just can't wait. Okay, thanks very much for joining us, guys. Instagram, just hold in there for a second, and I'll be online to chat with anytime soon, guys. So thanks very much. Have a nice one.